Hello, hello. Today is a new month, March 1st, 2023. And the word of the day is transformation. And the card of the day is Three of Swords. And I wanted to talk a little bit about transformation in a way that, I mean, this card wasn't easy to pull today for the group and for the YouTube viewers because I almost didn't want to share it, but then I decided to share it, to go ahead and share it. But so transformation, we all know that in order for, metal to bend, fire's got to be put to it. And that's how it is with transformation, at least through my experience. In my experience in transforming my life and the emotions that I've had to move through required going through the fire, allowing the fire to burn all the things that no longer suit my new skin, if you will, letting those things go. But you can't just jump over into the new skin. And I don't know why this is coming to my mind, but it goes back to you can't pour wine into old skins. And so, in order for me to move to my next level, I've had to face whatever that is, that fear, that anger, that resentment, whatever that is that was coming up in me. Mostly my biggest thing has always, I won't say always, but how do I want to say this? I want to say that my biggest hurdle in life has been fear, because I come from a background of threats and violent threats. And because of that, I have suppressed a lot of my fear for so long to where I just kind of put it in a corner over there. And I needed to survive, if you will. And so, in order for me to survive, I could not deal with the fear. I had to face every day, I had to show up. I had to show up at school. I had to show up at work. I had to show up publicly. And so, what happened with me is I suppressed that fear. I did not transform the fear. And what I have to say about that, by going through my own personal experience, is it came to bite me in the butt, but in a way that I'm able to deal with it now on a big level, because there was this huge underlying fear that I had, and that was for my life. And that's like anybody would say that's a reasonable fear, the fear of losing your life by the choices that you make due to cultural standards or expectations. And so I didn't deal with this fear. And what happens is when we don't deal with the underlying traumas that we stuff away, is you will be pulled back into it, because energetically the way the universe works is if you have that frequency in your field, in your body, in your energetic field, somebody will come into your life and they will remind you of all of that energy. And if you haven't dealt with it, you'll be sucked in and you will go into a roller coaster. And so that's why you can't just spiritually bypass something. You can't just ignore it and it goes away. I don't feel that that's how it's worked for me. And, you can ignore it for a certain amount of time, but it's going to catch up to you. And with that said, I'm going to go into the Three of Swords. So if you look at this card, it's really matters of the heart, right? So in matters of the heart, this is an emotional card. Emotions, like I discussed, fear was my biggest hurdle to overcome, and I am on the other side of it. However, it took a lot of energy, if you will, to move that fear, to create that transformation, because I really wasn't ready to deal with it, and I didn't know how to deal with it. And until I got ready and knew how to deal with it, then I addressed it. I faced it head on and felt the feelings. And on the other side of that is freedom. And what this card is saying is there's grief. Grief, it could be in the form of sadness, it could be in the form of depression. There has been grief in your life, and that hasn't been dealt with. And the good part of this card is you are strong enough to move through this grief and get to the other side. And so I would encourage you, this to me has to do with like past or present. You are experiencing grief that you haven't dealt with. It could be in family, romantic relationship. It could be past grief that you need to deal with, so that you can move forward and be free. And see, there's like a storm. The storm is, there's a storm. This card is really straightforward. And also it could be like betrayal. It could be, someone stabbing you in the heart. And also what I wanted to say about this card is that it could be like someone you know or someone near you is going to go through heart surgery, but I want you to know that they are going to be okay. They're going to get through it. So no need to worry. This too shall pass. And I wanted to give you a little tool that you can use while you're moving through grief, and it's called tapping. And so tapping it's called emotional freedom technique. I learned this in my NLP class. And basically what you do is you tap on this point right here. You go, even though I'm experiencing this grief, I completely love and accept myself. Even though I'm going through this grief, I completely love and respect myself. Even though I'm going through this grief, I completely love and honor myself. And then you go to this point where your eyebrow hair starts, even this grief. And then you go to the bone point, this grief, the bone on the side of your eyebrow. The bone under your eye, this grief. This heartbreak. This is the point just between your lip and your nose. The point between your lip where there's like a curve right here, this sadness. And then you're going to go to your bone where there's like a horseshoe, and then you're going to go about an inch over. This grief. And then you're going to go like under your arm, like right here, like about an inch. If you're a woman, it's like where your bra strap is. And it's an inch down from your armpit. And you would say, like, you can say this grief or this anxiety, this feeling of anxiety, because generally when we're going through grief, we feel anxious. This fear. This is on top of your head, like there's like a dent on top of your head. You can feel for that. Just go ahead and tap this fear. And whatever feelings come up for you, you can bring them up. And you want to do this like 2 rounds. This fear, this depression, this worry. I'm kind of speeding it up just so, I go through the motions and you guys know how to do it. This anxiety, this sadness, this grief, this worry. And then on the 3rd round, you're going to go, I am open and willing to let go of this grief. I'm ready to let go of this sadness. I am capable of moving through my emotions of fear. I am strong enough and powerful enough to move to the other side of fear. I have everything within me to transform this fear into light. I'm choosing to transform this fear into light. I am love and I am lovable. I am the light I am. And so that is like 1 round of EFT. And basically, EFT is based on pressure points. And if you know anything about acupuncture, basically there's points on your body that with acupuncture, they put a needle through and it opens up the channel for the energy to flow. And they've done recent research on EFT, and they can actually see that on brain scans, when you do this technique, when they've done brain scans on people before and after, different parts of their brain weren't triggered. And so this can help you like release stress. You can use it for anything. But this, I just wanted to like connect it to like transformation of grief or emotional trauma that this card is associated with. And so you can use it. That was like one round. You can use it more rounds, and you can tailor it really to however you want. The whole point is to receive relief, and but that is how technically it's done correctly. And so I hope that supports you in moving through any trauma or any grief that you're going through or that you have gone through. And you have the power to get to the other side of this. That is an affirmation of this card. This is not permanent. This is just move through it, and you're going to come out a better person on the other side because you're going to be much stronger. You're going to be more embodied, and you're going to be fully you without the baggage of emotional trauma. So I wish you the best in this and in the practice of this technique, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.